Haven't you ever wondered how to have a more peaceful Christmas? I mean, especially after the age of 60, Christmas can be nuts. So today I'm going to talk about 5 things that I no longer do that have helped make my Christmas really peaceful. Welcome back, everybody. This is Retirement Rescue. My name is Dee Burks. And as many of you know, I'm right at 60, right? And I got to thinking this year about the last few years, my Christmases, especially my Christmases, have become so much more peaceful than they have been in the past. To the point that I really look forward to Christmas, and that hasn't always been the case. There were a lot of years that Christmas was just the epitome of mass chaos. There were thousands of things to attend, there were presents to buy. It was just, as much as I love Christmas, and I do love Christmas, I also dreaded it. It was just so stressful and chaotic. And now it is not that way at all. So I really wanted to get on here and talk to you about that because as I think about it, the fact that my holiday is no longer stressful has significantly added to my outlook for the new year every year. So I want to kind of share that with y'all. Now, the real secret to having a peaceful holiday these days is eliminating a lot of things. And they're things you really don't like anyway. So let's talk about the things that I eliminate. Now realize this list that I have made are things that I do, things that I think are important. You may or may not want to eliminate some of these things, but I'm hoping you will at least think about them and think about the things you can eliminate. But here we go. Number 1, stop doing all the things. Stop going to the parties, stop hosting the events, stop trying to hit every little Christmas themed thing. Cut down what you're doing. It sounds obvious, doesn't it? But the Christmas season has gotten so packed full of things you feel like you need to do. Every club you're a part of has a Christmas party, Christmas event. Every networking group that I'm a part of has a Christmas party, Christmas event. Your church has one. Everything. Your friends have one. Maybe several that you are invited to. Your family has things. There are pageants and programs and things you have to. It's just crazy. And what happens is we keep adding all this stuff to our calendars as things we need to do, but they're things number 1, we don't want to do, and we really don't have to do. It's okay to say no. One of the biggest areas of creating a peaceful holiday is just creating time to enjoy the freaking holiday. Just to enjoy what you love, just to sit and have peace. And you can't do that if every single night you are going somewhere or doing something that you feel like you're supposed to do. Really sit down and be intentional and choose the few things, not more than one a week if you can help it, the few things during the holiday season that are the most meaningful to you and make those meaningful. Ditch the rest. Make an excuse. Say you're sick. Just don't show. A lot of people do that these days because their schedules are just too full, they're too packed. And everything they try to do, there are people, actually I was just at a networking party and there were several people who were hitting 2 and 3 parties that same night. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You do not have to do that to yourself. It's not meaningful in any way to anyone who is doing that. Stop doing it. Just say no. The second thing that I have stopped doing, especially as I approach 60, is I decorate less. I decorate less, and I love Christmas decorations. But I don't like schlepping out all the boxes and doing all the decorating outside and inside and putting up a tree. And I love Christmas trees. I will tell you, I have always loved Christmas trees, but I have 3 cats and a blue heeler. I do not want to fight that battle. I have put up a small Christmas tree before, even with my cats. I don't even do that anymore. I'm going to show you a picture of my Christmas decorations that are on my hearth because my cats can't get up there, which is what I have. And that is more than sufficient for me. Now that you can put a beautiful Christmas tree, glowing fireplace, I also have a fireplace, but you can put those things up on your screen now, up on your television screen, and enjoy it without you having to physically do it. And really, that's the thing. How much physical effort do you want to put into it? I love to go look at Christmas lights, but I can go down the street and look at Christmas lights. They don't have to be on my house. I don't have to go to the expense of paying someone to put Christmas lights on my house. I don't have to take the time and effort and days of decorating to decorate the inside of my house and then do the same thing on the other end of the season, taking everything down, put it back in the boxes, storing everything and lifting. And no, I don't do it. That is time I want to take to spend to enjoy the season. It's not the time I want to be working for the season. So I just don't do it. Now, how much you do can change over time. It has taken me a number of years to get to the point where this is how much I decorate. I've always done different, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on where I am and what I feel like. But as time goes by, I am absolutely realizing the wisdom of a more minimalistic Christmas. And I am really embracing that because I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I have time to go enjoy the season instead of, putting up Christmas trees and fighting my cats and figuring out ornaments. I don't have to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I don't do it. I suggest you don't do it either. Number 3, stop shopping. Stop it. I abhor retail during the season. I will do anything not to have to go into a retail store during the season. And I know, in years, decades past, it was kind of a horrible thing to get gift cards and all that. Y'all, people appreciate gift cards almost more than anything. They can get what they want. They don't need the junk you're picking up at all these retail stores anyway. If I need something like for a networking event or something like that, a gift card is more than sufficient. People enjoy it. They appreciate it. Think about how much you enjoyed getting the little $5 in the card from Grandma every year. That's more than enough. Okay, maybe not the $5, but just the idea of it. You don't have to knock yourself out trying to outperform everyone else to get the best gift. That's stupid. It just is. And as much as I try not to be in retail, occasionally you have to go pick something up, right? So I was in Harbor Freight. I know, Harbor Freight. This is the last weekend, the last Saturday before Christmas. It was freaking packed. Harbor Freight. Freaking packed. I needed new wheels for my little wagon. That's my little garden wagon, right? And I got the wrong size wheels last time I was there. My fault. So I had to go swap them out. And thankfully, the employees were great. And I did get in and out in a somewhat reasonable amount of time. But it just standing there in that ridiculously long line made me realize I'm so glad I don't do this anymore. I am so grateful that is one of those things that I let go. No one cares what the gift is. No one wants a bunch of junk and stuff. And really, that's all it is junk and stuff. If I give something to someone, I want it to be homemade and heartfelt. I don't want it to be stuff. And again, no one wants more stuff. So stop. Just stop. Abhor retail. That has been one of the biggest stress relievers in my life is, number one, you're not spending money. So you're not worried about finances. You're not trying to figure out what to buy for who to pay for. No, there's none of that. There's none of that. If I want to get something for someone, I can send them an Amazon gift card. I can email it to them. I don't even have to see them in person, which is great too. But there is no need for you to put yourself through that kind of stress. And people would just assume you didn't. They don't need more junk. Number 4, I do not travel during the holidays. Now for Thanksgiving, I might go out and see my folks. I can drive out there. That's not that big a deal. But I don't go anywhere where I have to get on a plane, where I have to drive a really long distance. And I realize, for those of you who are European, I live in Texas. A long distance is 8 hours plus. It's not 2 or 3 hours. That's an easy short drive. That's a day trip. So just for context. But if I have to go on a plane or something like that, I don't do it. When my kids were in college, and my kids are all now in their late 30s, early 40s. When they were in college, it did not make sense, especially at Thanksgiving, for them to try and fly home. They my oldest two went to colleges that were on the East Coast. My oldest especially, she was on the East Coast. She went to Duke. It did not make sense for her to try and fly home for a day and then fly back. If you've tried to fly from the East Coast to Texas, that's not the easiest schedule in the world to begin with. It's expensive. It's ridiculous. And everybody and their dog is trying to do the same thing. Absolutely not worth it. So we stopped doing it then. And we've continued that. None of us travel during the holidays. And it's wonderful. You're not having to schlep kids across the country. You're not having to try and figure out flights and spend all that money. And for what? You can see family before the holidays. You can see family after the holidays. And a whole nother thing with the travel is it's right in the middle of flu season. This year especially, I was sick back to back. In November, I had norovirus, which was horrific. And then I had a bad bout of the flu. And when you are traveling, especially, and you're in close quarters with all these other people, almost everybody gets sick. Everybody is sick. The same is true even when you go and visit your grandkids or whatever. They have been in school. All those kids are sick. It's like a petri dish of humanity, the school systems are. And it's very hard for you not to get sick or not to make other people sick. A whole nother reason not to travel. I do not like traveling during flu season, even going to Vegas or anything like that, because everybody's sick and I don't want to get sick. So I do not travel. Number 5, and this is something that everybody kind of knows in their head, but you still do anyway. I don't overindulge. I try to stay away from as much of the rich food as I can. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I used to drink a lot, but I certainly don't during the holidays anymore. I don't like feeling bad. And these days you eat a lot of sugary things or a lot of very rich foods, especially as you age. Boy, you really feel it. So I try to be really careful about, I don't cook big holiday meals anymore. I don't eat big holiday meals anymore. I might indulge in 1 or 2 holiday treats, but they're very limited. Very, very limited. And I'm careful about that because I never regret it when I do that. When I overindulge, I always regret it. So not overindulging helps me have a much better holiday. I don't feel sick. I sleep better. I feel better. And I enjoy more. And you will too. Not overindulging is one of those reasons people on January 1st, they try to make a resolution that they're going to eat better because they've just completely blown it over the holidays. Well, no, I don't do that. If you don't blow it over the holidays, it doesn't feel like such a big deal. It's just you're eating your normal things and you're eating in a normal way. And if you do go to a holiday meal, you're eating limited quantities of those really rich foods. All you need is a bite. You don't need to eat the whole thing. You don't need the whole cheesecake, George. So don't. And that has helped me tremendously because you just feel better during the holidays. But those are my top 5 things that I do not do to have a more peaceful holiday. And I really look forward to the holidays now, from about solstice, which is today, to about January 2nd or 3rd, those 2 weeks there at the end of the year. That is the time where I go and I refill my well, right? I think about the year that's just passed. I think about the year that's coming up. I think about how I want to live, how I want to be. I go back and look at all my successes for the year. Not the failures. Hey, we don't need to recount those. But I go back and I look at how far I've come. And I've always come further than I realize. It's amazing how our minds just kind of delete how far we've come. But I always do that during the last 2 weeks of the year. And it really gives me such a positive outlook and encouragement to go through into the next year. So I hope you all will start this year to stop doing all these things and start really enjoying your holiday. That's what the holidays are all about. If you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe and I'll see you next time.